I stood at my office window, 40 stories above Manhattan, watching my family's car pull up to the building. Even from this height, I could recognize my sister Olivia's perfect posture as she stepped out, followed by my parents. They had no idea they were about to walk into a meeting with the daughter they disowned 10 years ago. My assistant's voice crackled through the intercom. "Miss Bennett, the Eastwood financial team has arrived for the merger meeting. Send them to the main conference room," I replied, smoothing my Armani suit. "I'll be there in 5 minutes." 10 years. A decade since that night when my family had thrown me out. All because I'd chosen computer science over joining the family's financial firm. The memory was still sharp as glass. "No daughter of mine is going to waste her life playing with computers." My father's voice had boomed through our mansion's mahogany-paneled study. "The Eastwood name means something in this city. We're bankers, not tech support." I was 18, fresh out of high school, clutching my MIT acceptance letter like a shield. "Dad, please, technology is the future. I can build something meaningful." Meaningful? My mother's laugh had been cold as winter. "Your sister is already managing client portfolios, and you want to sit in a basement writing code?" Olivia had stood in the doorway, arms crossed, satisfaction gleaming in her eyes. At 21, she was everything my parents wanted, the perfect Eastwood daughter, following the predetermined path into high finance. "You have a choice," my father had declared. "Either you accept your place at Wharton and join the family business, or you leave this house with nothing. No trust fund, no connections, no family name to open doors." I'd looked at each of their faces, my father's rigid authority, my mother's disappointed disapproval, Olivia's smug certainty that I'd cave under pressure. In that moment, something inside me had hardened into diamond. "Then I choose nothing." I'd walked out that night with a backpack containing my laptop, a change of clothes, and the $3,000 I'd saved from summer jobs. They thought they were teaching me a lesson about respect and family loyalty. Instead, they taught me how to build an empire from scratch. The first year was brutal. I worked 3 jobs while attending MIT on scholarships and student loans: barista in the morning, library assistant between classes, coding freelance projects late into the night. My dorm room became my first office. My roommates' complaints about my late-night typing were a constant soundtrack. But I was building something. The code I wrote between coffee runs and library shifts was laying the foundation for what would become next-gen solutions. Though back then, it was just a dream encoded in endless lines of programming. By sophomore year, my financial algorithm caught the attention of a small tech incubator. While Olivia was making partner at Eastwood Financial, I was sleeping on a futon in a shared workspace, pouring everything into my startup. The breakthrough came during my junior year. My trading algorithm didn't just analyze market patterns, it predicted them with uncanny accuracy. Venture capitalists started circling. But I remembered my father's lessons about maintaining control. Even if I'd rejected everything else he stood for, I took smaller investments from multiple sources, never giving away too much equity. I kept my identity private, using my mother's maiden name, Bennett, and avoiding publicity. The tech world knew Monica Bennett as a voice on conference calls, a signature on contracts, a brilliant mind who valued privacy. No one connected the mysterious founder of NextGen Solutions with Monica Eastwood, the disowned daughter of banking royalty. By graduation, NextGen was worth $50 million. While my family attended Olivia's wedding to another banking scion, I was signing contracts worth more than the entire ceremony cost. 5 years after being kicked out, I bought my first penthouse, ironically, in the same building where I'd grown up. I watched my family come and go, living their lives 4 floors below, never knowing their disgraced daughter was living in the top floor suite. Now, 10 years later, Eastwood Financial was failing. They missed the tech revolution, dismissed cryptocurrency as a fad, and ignored the rise of algorithmic trading. Their clients were jumping ship to more innovative firms, many of them quietly managed by NextGen's superior technology, and they came to NextGen Solutions hat in hand, hoping to arrange a merger that would save their company. They had no idea they were about to negotiate with a daughter they'd thrown away. My phone buzzed. Olivia was calling from the conference room, probably annoyed at being kept waiting. The great Eastwoods didn't like to be kept waiting. I let it ring, let them sit there in my conference room, surrounded by the empire I built without their name, their money, or their approval. Let them feel what it's like to be powerless, waiting on someone else's time. I checked my reflection one last time. Gone was the teenage girl with dreams of coding. In her place stood a woman who'd built a billion-dollar company through sheer determination and brilliance. "Miss Bennett," my assistant's voice again, "they're asking how much longer." I smiled. picking up the folder containing the merger agreement, or rather, the acquisition agreement they hadn't realized they were about to sign. Tell them the CEO is on her way. The walk to the conference room felt like walking through time. Each step took me closer to the moment I'd imagined countless times over the past decade. The moment when they'd realized that the daughter they dismissed as a failure now held their fate in her hands. I paused outside the heavy oak doors, hearing their muffled voices inside, Olivia's sharp tone carrying through. This Bennett woman better be worth all this waiting. Who does she think she is? I smiled. They were about to find out. I pushed open the conference room doors with quiet confidence. The Manhattan skyline provided a dramatic backdrop through the floor-to-ceiling windows as I walked to the head of the table. My family's expression shifted from annoyance to confusion to absolute shock. My father half rose from his chair, his face draining of color. My mother's hand flew to her throat. Olivia's mouth actually fell open, her perfect composure shattering. "Monica," she whispered. "Hello, family," I said, setting my folder down carefully. "Or do you prefer to keep this strictly professional? Miss Bennett works too." This is impossible," my father stammered. "You're Monica Bennett, the founder of NextG," I smiled, taking my seat, surprised to see what playing with computers can accomplish. My mother found her voice. "But all these years you'd been here in New York, in the penthouse 4 floors above you." I opened my folder, enjoying their stunned expressions. "Now, shall we discuss the merger, or rather the acquisition?" "Acquisition?" Olivia's voice cracked. "What do you mean, acquisition?" I nodded to my assistant, who began distributing documents. NextGen Solutions has already acquired a controlling interest in Eastwood Financial through various shell companies over the past year. This meeting isn't to negotiate a merger, it's to discuss the terms of your surrender. My father's face turned red. "You can't do this, we're family." "Family?" I cut him off sharply. "You lost the right to that word 10 years ago, remember? No daughter of mine is going to waste her life playing with computers." Those were your exact words, weren't they? Silence fell over the room. Even our lawyers seemed to hold their breath. "Your company is failing," I continued calmly. "Your trading systems are obsolete. Your clients are leaving in droves. Half of them have already secretly transferred their accounts to firms running NextGen's technology." I stood up, walking to the window. "You kicked me out for choosing technology over banking. Now technology is going to swallow your bank whole." "Monica, please," my mother tried, her voice soft. "Honey, sweet, we can work this out as a family. We were wrong about you, obviously. Look at everything you've built." I turned back to face them. "Everything I built without you, without your name, your connections, your money, that's what makes this so delicious. I succeeded not in spite of you throwing me out, but because of it." Olivia shuffled through the acquisition papers, her hands trembling. "These terms, you're going to dismantle the entire company." "Not dismantle, modernize." I returned to my seat. "Eastwood Financial will be absorbed into NextGen's operations. Most of your lower-level employees will keep their jobs. They don't deserve to suffer for your failures. But the executive team," I smiled coldly. "Well, I hear there's an opening for a barista at the coffee shop where I worked my first year of college." "You would destroy your own family's legacy?" My father's voice shook with rage. "My legacy is NextG. You made it very clear I had no part in the Eastwood legacy when you threw me out." I pushed the contracts forward. "Sign, or I'll call an emergency shareholder meeting and have you removed from the board. Either way, Eastwood Financial belongs to me now." My mother burst into tears, perfectly timed as always. Olivia looked like she'd swallowed something sour. My father just sat there, decades of arrogance crumbling before my eyes. One by one, they signed. As they stood to leave, defeated and humiliated, I called out, "Olivia." She turned back, trying to maintain her dignity. "That corner office of yours, have it cleared out by Friday. I'm turning it into a coding boot camp for underprivileged kids." After they left, I returned to my window, watching their expensive cars pull away from the building. My assistant appeared with a glass of champagne. "Congratulations on the acquisition," he said, though I suspect this was about more than just business. I took the glass, remembering that scared 18-year-old girl who'd walked out into the night with nothing but a laptop and determination. Sometimes success isn't just about proving them wrong, it's about becoming so powerful that they have to sit across a table and watch you sign their failure into existence. The press release went out an hour later. Tech giant NextG Solutions acquires historic Eastwood Financial. My phone exploded with messages from long-lost relatives suddenly remembering their dear cousin Monica. I ignored them all. The next week, I moved my office into the former Eastwood financial headquarters. I had all the old portraits taken down, the generations of stern-faced bankers who'd built their fortune on tradition and exclusion. In their place, I hung a single framed photo, my old student ID from MIT. My family still tries to contact me sometimes, through lawyers and intermediaries. They want to reconcile now that I'm worth billions, but I learned long ago that true family doesn't have a price tag. The company thrived. Next-gen's technology revolutionized the financial industry. While the Eastwood name faded into obscurity, my father retired in disgrace. Olivia took a middle management position at a smaller firm. My mother started telling anyone who would listen that she'd always believed in Monica's dreams. I let them talk. Sometimes, late at night, I look out from my office window at the city below. I think about that night, 10 years ago, when they thought they were punishing me by taking away my inheritance. They didn't realize they were actually setting me free. They thought they were closing doors by disarming me. Instead, they forced me to build my own doors, my own building, my own empire. Now, when people hear the name Eastwood, they don't think of the old banking dynasty. They think of the daughter who was kicked out for daring to believe in technology, the daughter who came back 10 years later to buy the company that had rejected her. I keep my father's final words to me framed on my wall. No daughter of mine is going to waste her life playing with computers. Below it, I added my response, you were right. I'm not your daughter anymore. I'm your boss. The view from the top isn't about looking down on those who hurt you. It's about being able to see clearly who you always were, even when they couldn't. Success isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. And sometimes the best revenge isn't just success. It's success so massive that they have to read about it in the Wall Street Journal while clearing out their corner offices. The daughter they disowned now owns their name. That's not just revenge. That's justice.